I like hang out with you guys, I always feel like just blushing and like, you know when you first start talking to somebody,
cheers to our teas.
Cheers. Hi everyone. Today we're here to talk about female friendships, our experience with it, and how to find like your girl gang. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Camila.
We'll just start with basically like a little recap of our experiences with friendships. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go. So I think for most of my life, I've always had like friends and like group friends and stuff like that because I'm just an extroverted person. But I think my experience with like real friendships and not so real, like kind of started in high school. I always had a group of friends, but I think ultimately too it was a lot of growing that I had to do, and I lost friendships because I made mistakes as well. And I think through that, like I was able to kind of switch my behavior after losing friends and knowing how much friends are like so valuable to your life. I think I was able to reflect on my behavior and kind of switch that, and now, you know, I'm able to implement all that into like my new friends. So that's why I feel like everything's just so healthy, because I had to go through like rough patches, you know.
I would say for me, like obviously in high school, I've always had, or I had like such a strong friend group. And then like getting into college, it was like a lot harder to find like valuable friends that you could be vulnerable with. Because for me, like the separation between a lifelong friend and like more of a short term or like not as meaningful friendship is like if you can't break that barrier and like get vulnerable and open up to them about like your feelings and just like deeper than the surface. So I feel like that was like hard to find, but I also guess I didn't really know that I was missing that until I did experience friendships that allowed you to be vulnerable. So, but then once I started meeting people that I could like go deeper with, I realized like my other friendships maybe like didn't really serve me like as much anymore, and I kind of like outgrew them.
I feel like, you know, I've had like a roller coaster when it comes to like friendships and stuff and like the things that I've experienced. And I mean, if we're starting as like early as like elementary school days, I feel like it's always been like that feeling where like I was the odd one out, you know? And I think that kind of like in high school I found a great like group of friends, and but like still kind of felt that feeling, you know? And I think a lot of the times in like these friendships that I was like always constantly trying to like prove myself or try so hard to fit in and stuff. And like going into college and everything, it's like I had like a group of friends, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, now it's like going into college, like am I even gonna meet anybody? Like it's like I'm a transfer student, and it wasn't until like, you know, like I joined the clubs and everything, and then it's like how I met all you guys. And I think through that I learned the like basis of true friendship, you know, and like it was funny because I remember you guys would do so many things for me like that I thought like, you know, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do that, you know, like I couldn't accept like the giving of the friendships.
You didn't feel like you were worthy of like receiving?
Worthy, I guess, yeah. But I mean, I don't know if that was ever because of the friendship, but like it tied to internal stuff, which can really tie into like making friends, is like feeling like you're not worthy of it, you know? I don't know, it's such a deep, like, not to get all deep, but like it's definitely been in the last like year or so that I've made such like unique friendships that have taught me about what I truly do deserve, and have opened my eyes to like situations that are like I get a different perspective where like I don't know, I don't deserve to be treated like that, or I don't deserve to be like put through things that I've been put through in this last year, and you guys remind me that of my worth, and I don't know. Gosh, you give me all
that was really good.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been heavy this year, so.
Aw. I can definitely tell that you're like you really appreciate us, and like I don't know, you make it very known that like that maybe that wasn't like your experience.
I do. I totally do appreciate my friends, and like I feel like I always will put people. I try. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but I always try to put people's thoughts, feelings, and considerations and everything first before my own. So when I feel like I don't get that back, it like hurts. But with like the friendships that I've made this year, I feel like I never really feel like I'm not thought of. Even for example, like today, like you like literally called me because I texted you about the movie, what you guys were doing, and you're like, oh, we're gonna go to the movies, and I had already seen the movie, so I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go, obviously. But then you called me, you're like, oh, we're not going anymore if you want to come over. You know, it's like the smallest little acts of consideration are like the ones that mean the most to me. You know, and because it's been kind of like an off day, I feel like I felt off today, and so then I was just like, okay, I'll go. Here I am getting my energy back.
I know.
Yeah.
That's really what we told Jocelyn, because she was like, I'm so tired, like, I want a nap or something, whatever. And we're like, you're going to get your energy back when you're with us.
Once you're with us, your energy's going to come high.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. I'm glad you went because that just helped me. You articulate yourself so well.
Oh, thank you.
I felt like I just went along with your journey, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was there.
Just a
Yeah,
little.
I really am just allowed. Like, even though I've heard this so many times, like, I'm like,
No, you can
well,
really
I feel it again.
Yeah.
Mine is kind of like
There's
yours, too. I've like never ever felt understood or seen in like any of my friendships. And yeah, like I used to journal about how I never really had good friends, and I've always wanted that. Like I'm such a like movie fanatic too, like especially rom-coms and just TV shows and like, you know, in movies they have like the best friend, and I've always wanted that, like, and I've always felt that like that there's someone kind of like a soulmate, but like in a friend. I always felt like there's someone out there that's supposed to be like your ride or die best friend, and you like do everything together, and like I just never felt like I found people like that, or just one person. Like, I don't know, just because the media made me feel like I need one person. And then like same thing with you, like meeting everybody, like it was so weird. I remember when I like first started hanging out with you, and remember when I told you I was like, you're like one of the most considerate people I've ever met. And I was like,
that's a big compliment.
Yeah, because like I just feel like you have so much awareness for like other people's feelings, and like I see that in myself too, so I see that in you, and just how like much you consider other people. And, like, the little things you do, and, like, I've noticed that with every single person I've met, like, in the past year. And I'm just like, wow, like, it's so weird. Because I never thought, like, there was people, or, like, you could have friends like that. And it makes me want to be so giving. Like, I've never... Like, I'm just such a loving person, like, deep down. And I've never felt seen or understood. So I've never wanted to give that side to to people around me, because I never felt that. So, like, now that I feel that, like, I just want to give. Like, I just constantly, like, want to, like, pour back into, like, all my friends, because I'm, like, they just love me, too.
And that's how friendships should leave you. They shouldn't leave you drained, and like, should make you feel, like, more uplifted and alive. Like, after I leave any hangout with you guys, it's always, like, okay, what can I can conquer the moon. Like, I don't know. It's just uplifted.
I feel like that's like how it is like with like I feel like friendships aren't talked about enough, and like it's similar to relationships. Like it involves like work, communication, and all that. It's so similar. But like she said, or Sophia said, like when you leave hanging out, like feeling happy and stuff. Like I was the other day after we all hung out, I came back home and I feel like I was like in a whole ass relationship. Like I was just happy. I was like giggling. I was like literally. I'm not every single time I like hang out with you guys, I always feel like just blushing and like, you know when you first start talking to somebody like that. And I'm like, that's how you should feel. And if you don't feel that way, like I feel like, you know, if you feel more like drained or just like heavy on your shoulders and stuff, it's like you're not with the right people. So yeah.
No, I feel like people don't value friendships as much as they do relationships. And that's what I've always seen. Like, at least me personally, like I value my friendships the same exact level as I value any type of relationship. So like it's just, like I said, it's weird that I notice like people that feel that exact same way, and it's like, I don't know, it's just next level. We're just next level.
No, it's true.
Like,
true.
yeah, I don't know.
So, what did you guys feel like you did differently, I guess, like, to attract, you know, us? Because you obviously had to, you know, change your energy or something.
I mean, I think what for me, because something sticks out, is I really put myself out there. I know they always tell you, oh, put yourself out there, and it's like, do new things or challenge yourself. But, like, if I really boil down to, like, what it was that led me to you guys, it was literally joining Girl Games and applying for the exec board. And, like, doing any leadership position was never really something that I had, like, wanted to do. Or not that I didn't want to do, but didn't, like, push myself to do. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to, like, just really, like, go out, put myself out there, and in that instance, like, that's what led me to, like, that was the domino effect that led me to this moment, you know? And, like, I don't know, I just also have realized that I am deserving of, like, good friendships, and I try to put and do good out, you know, and in hopes that, like, the good will come back to me. I feel like I was trying to put out good energy, and I attracted the good energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are the good energy, and I attracted it. And, like, then you guys, since you guys are good energy, like, you continue to make me even better. Like, you take me, like, you know, up to heaven.
I think for me, there's, like, two things, like, that immediately popped up in my head. But I think, like, for one is, like, weeding out, like, the bad apples, if that makes any sense. That makes room for good in your life. And with that, it's, like, setting standards and, like, boundaries also with friendships, like you do with relationships. It's like if something just crosses a line for you, I mean, not immediately cutting them off depending on how the relationship is and the dynamic. I think it's important to, like, just know how you are feeling with certain type of people, how they make you feel, and how there's patterns. And if that's the case, then, you know, you remove them. And like you said, Sophia, it's like you leave room for yourself, and you ultimately tell, like, the universe that you deserve better, you know? That's how other people come. But also, like, communicating, I think that's something I switched from, like, back in the day to now. It's like, now when something bothers me or I'm upset about something with a friend, like, I tell them. And I don't tell them, like, to get in a fight with them. I'm like, you know what, this hurt me, or, like, hey, next time, can you do this? And that comes with, like, if they continue doing it, then that's when you just, you know, that's, like, setting boundaries.
And also having the maturity mindset and, like, being open to criticism.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like sometimes, like, there's been instances where I've talked to people about it, and it's just, like, they're completely shut. They're not, like, receptive to the information or, like, to what I'm having to say. And I feel like that's a huge thing. Like, you need to check yourself, honestly. If, like, are you able to accept criticism? And, like, you know, because friendships aren't easy. It's like it is literally like a relationship. You it's give and take. Like, you have to, like, it's not easy, you know, and it's not always gonna be perfect. Like, our friendships are not ever perfect, but the thing is, we meet each other halfway.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so important, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've noticed that with a lot of people, that they can't, like you said, can't accept criticism. Or they think it's, like, taboo in friendships. Like, people think that you shouldn't be able to call your friends out on, like, their bad behavior, or just, like, and I feel like it should be more normalized.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, like, communicate, like, it just makes the friendship better. Like you said, it just leads to resentment.
You have to communicate, but they also need to understand and kind of receive criticism. And when that doesn't go well, or if you tell someone, hey, I'm hurt about this, and, you know, they get defensive or whatever, then that's, like, obviously, you know, you just don't want those people in your life that aren't willing to, like, accommodate to your needs, if that makes any sense. Or, like, even them telling you, like, oh, well, I do this, you know, just communication. And I feel like when the communication doesn't go well, and that's when you, like, I don't know, you need to remove certain people out of your
Just
life.
at least distance, you know.
Yeah.
Put the distance there, and so that, like, you know, maybe not complete cut off, but, like, then they can understand that, like, oh, they're serious about this.
I definitely agree with Sophia. Like, I used to especially for in college, it was so hard to like make friends, and I was like, why am I not making friends? Because I even joined like a sorority. I guess like changing, being like, oh, I'm gonna put myself out there and like not fear the rejection, and because like obviously what I'm doing prior to that isn't working, and I kind of would just like wait for people to approach me, or I'd be like, oh, if they really want to be friends with me, then they'll come up to me. But I'm like such an, because I'm just such an introvert, and like all of my friends in high school, they were like the ones to pursue me. The way that didn't happen in college like threw me off. I was like, wait, hold on.
You're like, am I the drama?
Literally, I was like, so this isn't working. I definitely need to like shift my mindset, and even in the sorority, like they would always say like, you get out of it what you put into it. And so I was like, let me just like try to be like as involved as I can and like be myself, because I would always try to like, I guess, filter what I would say, or just want to say like the right things. Like, then I was just like, I want to just like be myself and like not really care, like fear the rejection. So then even like at work, I would pursue people first and like be like, do you want to hang out, like, oh, like we should like totally do something outside of this. And like nobody ever, like everyone was like very excited to like hang out, and like they liked that I pursued the friendship, and so that gave me like more confidence to like keep doing that.
Do you feel like then it was like a kind of a thing, like a putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation?
Yeah, for sure it was, because I was just so introverted, and like even going to like Glute Lab, literally, so Glute Lab is like the all women's gym that I go to, and like going there, I was there for like probably 8 months without having any friends there. Like, and everyone would be like hanging out. I would literally like be in the corner by myself, like kind of just like watching everyone have convos, and they'd be like, why don't you like ever talk, like you literally just sit in the corner. And I was like, oh, I just feel like I don't have anything to like contribute to the conversations. They were like, no, neither do any of us, like we're just like talking. And I was like, that's so true. Like, I guess like not doubting like what I have to say is important.
Did it like from that point on, did you like from that conversation is when you started to put yourself out?
Yeah.
Or like what was like your turning point?
I think you've like heard this, but literally my old roommate, she was like, you're the most negative person I've ever met. And like that was like the literally my turning point. Like I was like, what the fuck, like this is really like the reality I'm creating, because in my head I really was like super negative. And so she said that, and I was so desperate at that point. I was like, what can I do to like make friends and I guess prove that I'm not that way? I think it just all comes back down to like being really authentic and not caring and not like filtering yourself. And like obviously like a lot of people won't receive that well, but when you find the people that do, it's like literally like then we just get together and like we feel like we can do like everything.
You said you did that for 8 months. Like you get so comfortable in that like not talking to anyone. Like what made you like start?
Yeah.
Like from one day you were like, okay, I'm gonna start talking to them. Like how did you like for me that would be like such a hard mental battle because you've already done it for like such a long time. Like I'm just like curious as to like what was your like starting point when you're like, because now you're like super close with them.
Yeah. I think, well, obviously it wasn't immediate, but after that I was like the next day, like I didn't want to go back like ever again after that, but I was like, no, I'm gonna go. And then like I was inserted myself in a convo, and then I kind of just like invited myself to like their plans, but like they would like broadly say like, oh, I'm going here, would anyone want to go? And I would like never like say yes, but I was like, even if no one goes with her, like I'll go. So then I kind of just like forced myself to go, and then I like went to their like Halloween party, and I like forced myself to go and just like talk to people.
Do you guys like, what's that word, compartmentalize your friends? Like sometimes like the way I find my friendships to work, because I feel like each friendship plays like such an individual part in my life.
That's really what.
Yeah, like they're all super different in so many ways, and there's situations where I know who to call and who not to call. Like this is the kind of friend that I would go to if I'm having a heartbreak and I just know they're gonna get here in like 10 minutes. Or just like different scenarios. And I think that reduces expectations for certain types of friends, and I think that's what has made it work. Because I realized, like, oh, this friend tends to, like, she's an amazing friend. When I'm with her, like, we get along so well, but she will flake most of the plans, you know? But does that make sense? So I feel like...
Yeah, it does.
Because if I have just this huge expectation for this, like, for my friends, for every single one of them, I feel like that's where expectations just get, like, you just, they disappoint you, you know? But if you just put them in certain, like, little, you know, categories or whatever, then I feel like that works better.
No, it does. That's kind of like when I was talking about my journey. Like, because I feel like I consumed so much media that, like, told me that you need, like, that best friend that's, like, basically you and another person and, like, fills every single, like, blank spot or something like that. I kind of, like, put that energy out, or, like, kind of was, like, searching for that. And, like, what really shifted my, like, from going from, like, feeling like I having no friends to, like, having friends was, like, because I had good friends. Like, I never had no friends. Like, I had, like, good friends. And so I kind of just, like, played upon their values in my life and just, like, accepted how that relationship was. Like, I didn't force it to anything more. And I think that's what kind of, like, it just made everything better because I was happier with, like, maybe just partying with them. Because I knew they were, like, my party friends. Or, like, maybe this person, like, just likes to chill. And we would just hang out and chill. Like, she wouldn't want to go out and party. Like, I was just, like, I had more gratitude for the, like, environment and the level of friendship we were at.
Right.
So I definitely agree, like, and I think that just helps with friendships overall. I don't know if other people are like me, where they expect people to be, like, their everything. But, like, you start to, like, value the friendships you have more when you, like, put them in their categories and you know, like, who you can do this with and who you can't do this with. So I definitely agree.
Like, you basically, like, love them for who they are.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Of course, not, like, saying, like, oh, they could do this to me or they could do that to me, but it's, like, you just value what they can and you can't do, you know? That's why you have friendships for other stuff.
I also think that you can, like, demote friendships or you can, like, have boundaries with them. So I've noticed with, like, certain friendships, like, you, because they're in that place, it just helps you, like, establish that you can only do these things with them or you can only talk about these things.
Yeah.
And you just value that, and then, like, you know, like, it just saves the friendship sometimes. Like, and it still keeps that person in your life, but maybe at a further distance. Or, like, maybe, I don't know, and I think sometimes that's needed instead of sometimes just breaking up. Because sometimes I don't think every friendship needs to be broken up.
Yeah.
Like, I just think sometimes, like, maybe you don't hang out with them every day anymore.
Yeah.
You do, like,
Or just
once
kinda,
a
like,
month or, like...
like, just know where, like, you stand. And, like, having those boundaries and just understanding, like, that it's not... This friendship may not be as deep as this other friendship. And I think a lot of times I do compare a lot of my friendships together. And it's just like, okay, so why is I'm being treated this way so well, and then I'm treated disrespect. You know, I don't know. I can understand.
I also think having different friends that serve different, like, needs takes away that, like, jealousy or, like, just, like, because I know when someone has just, like, one best friend, like, then they can, like, rely on them and, like, get jealous if they're, like, pursuing, like, other friendships or relationships, and then so, like, not having that, like, dependency.
I think it's important to have your separate life. I think that's why our friendships work so well, because we all have our individual lives and our individual friends and like things that we need to, like, we just do on our own, but like we're always able to come together and there's no jealousy of like, oh, you hung out with this person, or, you know, it's like, I don't know.
I think what to add on to that is, like, I was just thinking as you're talking, is you need to be content and, like, and happy and know your worth in order to, like, to not get jealous in a way, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's been times where I felt, like, friend jealous, like, you know, but I think I look back and reflect at those times, and it's like, oh, I was jealous because I was insecure with myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I was insecure with where I stood in that friendship. And I honestly can say I never feel jealous with you guys because I know and we communicate and verbalize and understand and where we stand in each other's lives and friendships and stuff. But that's definitely a huge thing.
And I think, like, I want to add on to that because we were talking about it the other day at our like little Christmas thing, how you're like kind of also what you just said, like we have our own lives, and I think we always talk about like our friendship being fate because like we're it's just so convenient that we are all at the same point in our life, meaning like we're working on ourselves like individually, like our careers and all that stuff. So I think it also just goes back down to like you need to work on yourself as a person because you can't expect like all these amazing friendships and amazing whatever if you're not like content with yourself or you're not working on yourself. And I just think that like you guys said, like it's because we have like all worked on ourselves and we continue to work on ourselves.
And it's never not perfect and by no means, but like definitely we're all still in that like working phase, so it's like a lot of trial and error, honestly. You know?
Yeah.
But like we're all like mutually understanding that we're in our trial and error phase, you know? 20s, baby.
We're in our
post grad 20s, you know?
Yeah, like
You're about
And that's like why it's so great that we just like help each other like know ourselves more and like find that self-love because we're all practice self-love and like we'll literally have journaling nights.
Yeah, we know.
Manifestation nights.
We're so
Vision
powerful.
boards, like,
we're so fucking powerful.
Reading, like we want to do a book club.
We do want to do a book club.
Yeah, I just feel like we all have like, even though we're very different, like we have like the same values and
Yeah,
the same like goals in a way.
Yeah, you're right. I guess like we are all super different, even personality wise and stuff. But I feel like it all goes down to like our core values and what we like find fulfilling in life, and like we're all like we want more for ourselves. We want career, you know. So I think
we're
that's
just very
like,
compatible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are
compatible with each other.
Yeah, we really are.
I'm like, there's 3 more of us. Can
I
you
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
crazy.
this isn't even everybody, and that's why like it's just such fate. Like I don't know, like I just can't explain a better word for fate
Divine timing.
because like we haven't even known each other that long.
No, yeah.
Less than a year.
Right.
At
I
least for
literally
some
got
of
like a
us.
snap memory last month of you and I hanging out in San Jose.
It
Like
was our year anniversary in October, right?
I think it was October.
Aww.
We've been friends for a year in October, but it feels like we've been. It's like, you know how they say sometimes people are like, oh well, like how could you like be so close with them? You only known them this long, but I feel like I've known you guys forever.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, time doesn't define.
Right.
You know, like the quality. Like I can be friends with. I have friends that I've been friends with forever, and like I feel like in the last year I've
Grown closer to
so
you.
yeah.
much closer,
For sure,
like
yeah.
you know, to you guys.
That just ties into like the quality over quantity, even in numbers. Like I know we have a big group, but like you don't need 100 friends to be fulfilled.
Yeah, I'd be okay with just one of y'all. But like,
So who's it gonna be?
I just mean like it's just a bonus that there's so many.
And there's like
content with just one. If I'm being honest, like.
No, don't be honest, please.
She's like one of y'all will do it.
Yeah.
How do you find quality people and like where can you insert yourself?
Because how we all met was a personal interest. Like we all have a personal interest in working out, so we delved into working out and like the community into that. So I think like finding like it all goes back to like working on yourself. So I think going to things that you would want to do, like even if it's by yourself, like I want to like join, like I want to do salsa lessons, whatever, and like maybe like a friend will come out of that, but if not, like then that's fine. But I just think like going into places and spaces that you want to go in, I think will put you with like-minded people. Put yourself out there in the places that you want to try and you want to be at.
Yeah. I think like that's why college makes it, I mean, you don't need to find friends in college, but I think that's why college makes it even easier, because there's so many ways that you go into like things that you're interested in, and that's how you find like-minded people, you know, and like that's how I met you girls, you know, through the club, because we all loved working out and stuff. So I think what you said, just doing things that like you enjoy doing and finding someone that has like a common interest as you, that's like such a good way to like find friends.
The first step is like inserting yourself, and then second step is like actually reaching out to people and like being open to like having friendships with people.
Yeah. You kind of like have to put yourself out there. Like, yeah, like you said, like you put yourself in leadership positions.
Yeah. Just it's so hard being outside your comfort zone.
Yeah,
like
it is.
1,000%. Like I remember even like doing like the first in-person like hike, because it was all. Bear in mind, I joined this club during pandemic, so everything was on Zoom. So I was like extra scared, honestly, because I was like, oh my god, this is on a screen. I can't even like be like, you know, cutesy in person.
Yeah.
But like the first time we hung out in person, I went by myself.
Yeah.
And had I not gone, I wouldn't have. I feel like there I met Ariel more, and like from then it's like that was just like the starting to like, I don't know, it's uncomfortable, but once you get past that, it leads to just such great outcomes, you know, and you have to trust the process too.
Right.
You're not gonna get a friend right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, it takes time. Like it took a whole year, right, before like we became closer. You know, and you just have to trust the process.
I think you just have to like take the chance.
Take a chance, trust
Like
the process.
Trust
like,
yourself,
just never
too.
know. Yeah. Like because when I got really close with these two was when we had like our
brunch.
exec
I was just thinking
brunch.
about
The
that.
brunch.
And I wasn't even on exec anymore. Like I graduated. But I like still wanted to be involved. And then like one of my like best friends, like she's the new president, and she was actually going home early like from the brunch. And usually usually I would do everything with her. Like I would go everywhere with her. Like if she's going, I'm going. If she's not going, I'm not going. And then we were just like after the brunch, we were just like talking, and then they were like, "Who's down to like stay?" Because we were in PB, that has like all like the day
clubs.
day clubs and everything. And then like a couple of the girls, like them included, they were like, "Oh, like I'm down to stay." And like in my head, I was like weighing. I was like, "Do I go? Do I not go?" Because she was literally getting picked up in that moment.
Yeah.
And I literally took the chance, and I was like, "No," like because deep down I wanted to stay. And I was not gonna stay, and then I stayed, and then we like literally stayed till night.
Till nighttime, dude. I just
No,
look
we
at
stayed
those.
till like 2 a.m. 3
No,
a.m.
I don't think 8. I think it was like I want to say like midnight, but we
Really?
stayed a long time.
Well, yeah,
and I have
it
pictures
just felt
from
long
that.
because we went to brunch at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, you're like it was like 2
Like
a.m.
it was like 3, yeah.
We were out
because we
so
also
long.
didn't eat the
Yeah,
whole
we didn't
day.
eat, we just drank.
We just hey, you know what?
But yeah, it's just like it just goes to show that like being like that was my comfort zone, was like staying with my friend, but I knew deep down I wanted to stay, so I just took the chance and I just did it. And like obviously like
Now we're here.
literally from that moment on, it was like you said, like a snowball effect.
Yeah, so yeah, domino, snowball.
You just gotta take the chance.
You know what's so funny? It's like that same thing, like when it was me, you, Bella, and Julia, and like Julia was my roommate, and she was like my comfort person. Like if she was there, I was there, and like I didn't want to do things without her.
Yeah.
And we went to dinner, and then I dropped Julia off, or we all dropped Julia off downtown because she had plans, and then I was taking them home. So it was just us three in the car, and we weren't that close. Like we were like cool, but and then I just like parked the car. I parked the car, and I was like, "So what are you guys like working on like for yourself this year?" Or like what are you guys like struggling with like internally?
No, like when I told you, it was like so random. Like, she's literally like, and I'm like, because I've never seen this side of her. Yeah. And then
like tell me your deepest.
No, seriously. Then we talked for like 2 hours like, about
we
like
did.
just like everything, and so yeah.
That's so funny.
Just like putting yourself out there.
I did not know she was capable of being deep at all. I was like, I just didn't know you were like this, and I learned so much about you in that night. It was crazy.
I also want to say, if you can't find the community, like, freaking make it.
Okay.
Period.
Make
it.
Whoa.
Write that
Come on.
She just spit bars right there.
Make it.
But
She said make it.
No, but like deadass, so like Girl Gains wasn't like, I really wanted a community like Girl Gains, and like I kept searching for it and I felt it, but it wasn't a thing. So
You
like,
made it.
yeah,
She made it, bitch.
you made it. So if you're like in college and you're struggling, you're joining all these clubs and you just can't find like the right vibe, I guess, like make your own community of like what you're interested in, and then that will like attract the people that you want to.
So many of like the founders say that they, I mean that's like literally how so many of them, like even you, just made your.
So
it's
and if
crazy.
you want to make a Girl Gains, like you could do that too. Link in bio.
It's like, okay, now end the video.
Let's address because I see this in my TikTok comments like all the time about like, yeah, like this is fairy tale town. Like when I post, my friends are like, girls are drama. I've never seen this in real life. What are you guys?
Negative. First of all, I feel like whenever I see that, sorry, not to like.
I
have my thoughts on that. Like, if you're in this mentality that all girls are drama, all girls suck, all girls this, all whatever, you're gonna attract that, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like also, yeah, I've been in my fair like few instances where I do see how girls can be drama, but like also I have so many friends that prove otherwise. When you speak that, you attract that, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Like I don't think that every girl is drama, and clearly if you think that, then it just means like you've met the wrong people, and sometimes that happens. Like you're gonna meet a bunch of bad apples, whatever. So like weave them out, and like you might have to rock by yourself for a while, and that's perfectly okay. Like that happens. Just like I feel like if you keep pouring into yourself, like eventually the door is gonna open and you're just gonna meet someone. Like it's just by like it's just gonna happen. Like and I think it's also, and I think it's okay to be by yourself for a little while.
Working on yourself and then finding that self-love, because then once you accept yourself, that's just what you're gonna attract, like people that also accept you and like are gonna love your energy. So working on yourself, and even just like reflecting, like what am I, maybe some things you are doing that are like toxic. Like if you find that like every friendship is just, you can't stick with them, or it's just there's always some sort of drama in your life, then maybe like you need to like look within and see like what's going on there.
What are you doing wrong, or like what boundaries are you not setting, or what boundaries are you crossing? Kind of like self-reflection, but I don't think you should say like generalize all women like no drama. It's kind of the same thing of like relationships. It's like all men cheat kind of situation,
Right.
And it's like, of course, you know, there's a lot of men do it. a lot I'm just kidding. No, but it's like if you continue with this like negative mentality of like men this, men that, men are trash, like I know we say that out of, but honestly if you leave that in your brain and you continue saying it, it's like you're gonna attract these like negative
trashy men.
Yeah, it's the same thing with friendships, honestly. It's like just kind of take a step back and figure out what you need to fix and why do you feel this way.
Also, I think a lot of people expect really like friendships to be perfect all the time. You know, girls are drama. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no drama in our lives sometimes, like, but that's like how it is for everybody across the board. You know, nobody's life is completely drama free. And I think if you're not like, if you think it's gonna be 100% perfect all the time, then you're in for a rude awakening, because you're never gonna find a friendship where there's no like little like tiffs here and there. You know.
And that's why I always say like communication is so important, you know, because you might have drama. It's like you just tell them straight.
Like nothing extreme, but like you're gonna have like tiffs here and there.
Right.
Like just being in this friendship, because it was so like healthy, like it made me realize my own toxic traits in friendships.
I think it's actually like a really good thing that you pointed out that you've realized your own toxic traits, because I myself have realized my own too, and like I still am to this day. Like, I know, like, I'm not perfect, but, like, I think what's most important and what makes our friendship work is, like, I understand when I'm at fault, and, like, I know when I need to work on things, and, like, you know, sometimes me and Camila bonk heads, but, like, I'll literally, because we're both, like, stubborn, but but the thing is, we're both at that same mindset where at the end of the day we'll be like, I'm sorry, like, I was moody, or, like, I understand how I was coming across too strong, like, you know, and that is a huge, like, thing, you know, it's like, you're not perfect either.
Also, like, just being able to apologize, like, I think that's so big. It's like Sophia said, you know, like, there's been a time where I, like, kind of, you know,
they're so dumb.
They're so small, of course,
so
they're really small, but, like, I get, like, just angry for whatever reason. I'm going through my own shit or whatever, and I just, like, you know, tell her something, or she tells me something, and, like, later on I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like,
yeah, me too.
I've had a shitty week.
Me too. I'm like, I'm sorry, like, put pride aside.
Right, exactly,
like,
pride aside, and being able to apologize.
It's not always easy, but, like, you know, at the end of the day, you love that person.
Yeah.
And, like,
I feel like
It can
a
be
lot of time
awkward,
it's even more awkward than relationships,
For sure.
because, like, that's not taught. Like, you're not taught how to communicate in friendship problems, and that's why I think a lot of friendships end, is because a lot of people don't know how to, like, get over those, like, even small tiffs, even bigger tiffs, whatever.
In this world that we live in, it's like, it's just normal to just have conversations about relationships and how to make it work and how to do this, and, like, to be, like, to strive for a relationship, and, you know, that's, like, the end all be all. Friendships are just so much more valuable in some occasions, because friendships a lot of the times turn into family, and sometimes they're even more family than your actual family. And I just think no one talks about how to be a good friend and how to communicate, and how, like, truthfully, it is a whole work in progress. Like, you do have to put in work, you do, like, have to put in what you want out of it and stuff like that. So I just think it's so important to have conversations with your friends, even just, like, continuously, or even checking up on them. Hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in this long. Or even, like, when I was studying for, like, the LSAT, I had texted them, because, like, we would hang out all the time, and I remember just texting you guys saying, like, hey guys, like, I don't mean to ignore you guys, and I don't mean to, like, cut you guys off, like, not talk to you guys, but I'm really busy, and sorry if I'm not replying, I'm sorry if I'm, like, flaking on plans, like, just even that goes a long way.
What have you guys noticed are, like, relation or friendship green flags?
Considerate.
like, you guys are extremely considerate and always so thoughtful, and, like, never make me feel like you show me myself, like, my worth too, like, in, like, the little notes. We're such, like, lovers, and, like, we give each other notes and, like, flowers, and, like, we're like,
so pretty.
yeah, like, dude, and you guys make me feel so loved, and, like, my Leo moon eats it up.
I think a big one is just how you feel energetically when you're with them, or even after. Like, your body just tells you a lot more than you think.
That is 100% correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's never feels like a competition, or, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
never
That's
feel
so
like
true.
I never feel like I'm competing with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's like we're all on our own, like, path, and, like, we're all, like, doing our own things and achieving new goals, but it never feels like I need to, like, be better than you guys.
Okay, y'all. My camera died. My storage is full, so I guess it's time. Yeah,
It's time
we're
to call
ending
it.
here. But yeah, I hope this helped you and showed you that, you know, fulfilling friendships are possible. Girls are not the enemy, and, you know, just be yourself, and you'll attract everything that you want.
Yup.
Thanks for watching.